Aloha, beauties. Welcome to A Better World with Adrienne. I am so excited to be here with you today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for pressing play. Thank you for using your most valuable resources, your time and your energy and your attention to invest in this podcast and this space for up levels and healing and growth. I am so grateful that you are here. It is a very exciting time to be alive. It's a very intense time to be alive. And I want to remind you that you incarnated on this planet at this specific time for this specific, unlocking of humanity. So you were born for this. And there are skill sets and embodiments and ways of being that you must commit to relentlessly to unlock your potential, to live your destiny, and to make your mark in the world that needs your gifts. So, this is your dose of power, and I'm really, really excited to drop in with you today. Today's episode, I'm recording this at the beginning of March 2025, the month where everything changed. This astrology is legendary. This astrology is fated. We are entering the eclipse portal, the fated eclipse portal of March 2025. By the way, if you are listening to this and you want to know how to leverage this eclipse season, if you want to stay in your power every single day as we unlock this really intense, challenging phase of new earth, and you want to heal and you want to leverage this eclipse to spiral up instead of spiral down like most of the collective will, run, don't walk to the link in the show notes and join Starstruck. I'm doing daily coaching and teachings on the astrology all of March. I'm leading 2 live breathwork journeys. You're going to enter a global community of powerhouse souls, really using this moment for greatness. And it's literally $11 a day. It's like so amazing. Somebody asked me, they were like, well, tell me, what should I be doing with this eclipse? And I was like, first of all, um, you know, hire me if you want me to guide you on your astrology. And second of all, there's just way too much. There's way too much that could even be metabolized in one podcast. And so that's why I'm doing this space. So if you want to really go deep in this moment and this astrology, go join that literally right now. The link is in the show notes. This episode is all about how to pass your spiritual tests. And this is going to be a timeless episode. Yes, I'm recording it in March 2025, but this is going to be relevant forever and ever and ever. Amen. I really want this episode to be something that you come back to anytime you feel like you're being tested, because guess what? In this game we call life, we get tested. And there are people that, they don't believe in spiritual tests. I really don't buy it. We definitely get tested all day, every single day. Every single day is a test all day. And you are either someone who think that's horrible and you're scared of it, or you're someone who's like, wow, this is a game and I was born to win. And I'm going to learn the game and then I'm going to win. And what does winning mean? I create blessings and miracles and dreams with spirit, and I become the person I came here to be. So that's what we're going into today. Let us call upon the altar. On the altar is literally sunny 60-degree weather, 60 degrees Fahrenheit. It's so amazing. It's so beautiful. It's so gorgeous. The essence of spring is here. Spring is springing. The birds are chirping, the wind is blowing, the sun is out. It's a whole new beginning. Thank you, Spirit, for the chance to begin again. I have one vase of heart purification roses. I have a blush pink rose, I have a magenta rose, and I have a white rose. And it's very purifying. It's very Libra energy. It's very Venusian energy, and it's very soft power energy, soft love, this grace and this softness and this compassion that is required for all of us It's very deeply important to have this grace and compassion with ourselves and others, and at the very same time, hold a high standard. Either one on its own doesn't work, but together, just like the divine masculine and divine feminine, together, that's when potential is unlocked. That's when manifestation and limitless potential is unlocked. So we have that soft, compassionate, loving, love, love, love frequency with the roses. I have another bouquet of flowers because I'm a both and person. Red roses. Red roses for grounding, for the root chakra, for safety. There is so much massive change going on. We must ground ourselves. We must put our feet on Mother Earth and remember that we are the safe bet. Mother Earth is a safe bet. Other people, the government, the news, none of that is reliable, truthful, things we can bet on. This is a time of radical, radical responsibility. We are responsible for our safety. We are responsible for our brains, for our thoughts, for our actions. We are responsible. Most people have outsourced their power their whole life and counted on other people their whole life, and it's being viscerally and disturbingly exposed in the collective. We must ground ourselves to Mother Earth. So that grounding and that safety with the red roses is so alive and well. And Mary Magdalene is here, and Mother Mary is here. And we have a big white lily that just opened yesterday, literally opened when I was driving to breath work for my in-person class. And it was like, oh my gosh, everything's opening up. Literally, this lily just like opened up before my eyes. And then there's another one. When I buy lilies, I buy them closed because I want them to last. And I like seeing them open, but it's really cool because there are three buds. One is fully open, one is just starting to open, and one's closed. And it's representing all the different phases that are available and beautiful and wonderful. Like they are all beautiful in their own way. So that's on the altar. I have my sphere crystal on the altar, my moon sphere. It's an eclipse week. The only thing we can count on is sudden, shocking, unstable change. That's literally the only thing we can count on. So all of this grounding energy, and yes, is this a time of a spiritual test? Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. Like insane ones. Like like spiritual Olympic level. Like 2020 was child's play level. Okay. And I have a little bee on the altar representing my new spirit guide in the past 6 months, the guide of the Holy Habits Hive Mind, the bee. And we say thank you for showing us the nectar of life and the power of working together and knowing that no one ever, no matter what they say, is self-made. We all have had doors opened for us. We all have had collaborators and friends and helpers and mentors and teachers. And the idea that you need to go alone is a patriarchy program keeping you small and stuck and scared and never achieving your greatness. So we say thank you to the bee. A white unscented candle purifies our space. And the final piece on the altar is how we say thank you in advance to spirit. The altar is ancient technology. The altar is I give thanks. I honor the force. The final piece is our 3 deep breaths together, making this podcast different than other podcasts. When we stop our ritual, we become ungrounded. We lose touch with spirit. The times when you feel like it's inconvenient are the times when we must do it the most. So if you are able, flutter your eyes shut. Feel your feet beneath you. connecting to Mother Earth, whether they are on Mother Earth or on the floor or in your shoes. Inhale through your nose. Exhale out the mouth and shake out your arms. Just anything in your body, just let it move. 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 Inhale through your nose. Feel the yellow power of the sun come into your solar plexus, remembering your unconditional power. Exhale out the mouth. One final inhale through the nose. Holding at the top because you can. Open your brain to new ideas. Open your spirit to truth. Open your soul to a message that you need right now, today. Keep holding because you can. Feel the connection with the human family, with this global movement. Exhale out the mouth. The portal is now open. The altar has been set. We are connected with life force energy, and blink open your eyes. Let's drop in. How to pass your spiritual tests. We get tested. What is Earth? What is this experiment? What is and by the way, I have a loose bulleted list. I'm just going to channel my face off about this because it's just really important. We get tested all day, every single day. We incarnate into this lifetime, and the whole point of life is to achieve our potential as a soul. Okay? And we come into this experiment. This is a free will experiment. And every single moment, we always have a choice between what's going to bring us closer to the light and what's going to bring us closer to darkness. Okay? There is the light of the creator and there are dark forces. All right? We are tested all day, every single day. And we have, what do? We have our desires, we have our dreams, and we have our free will. This is what makes us different than a rock, than a tree. Now, do rocks and trees have consciousness? Do flowers have consciousness? Absolutely. Do dogs and cats have consciousness? Yes. Do they have the same level of free will and agility and brain power and choice as we do as humans? No. We have free will. And this is why some people live their dreams and achieve their potential and make magic with life and have just, abundance, abundance, abundance in all forms. And why other people spend their whole lives miserable. It really comes down to free will. Because no matter how you're set up in life, like I could have a whole podcast about privilege. Trust me, I've dated many a trust fund boy. Most of them that I have dated are incredibly, incredibly lazy. Why? Because they were handed a golden platter. They were never taught values of how to work. And I mean, I remember looking at this one guy I dated, oh, I don't even know, like 5 years ago. And I was like, you need to leverage your privilege. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, literally, most of my mentors are women of color that grew up in like actual poverty. And now they're making like $1 million months in ways they're proud of in their soul missions. And then I'm looking over here at this like white male in the West trust fund baby. And I'm like, you must leverage your privilege. Why is it that that person in that situation was not happy and not living their dreams and not achieving their potential? And these other people that I know who quote unquote had everything stacked against them, women of color, specifically one of my mentors who is Pakistani, grew up in poverty. Everybody, like, no one would blame them for not going for big dreams, but they have free will and they had a soul's call and they just did what was required of them and they followed their heart again and again and again and again and again and they chose the light again and 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 again. Free will. We all have free will. And when we come down to the brass tacks of the situation, Viktor Frankl said, no one, literally, there's so much energy right now in the collective of people blaming external circumstance, blaming the president, blaming the economy, blaming this, blaming that, blaming this, blaming that. And it's like, what's the common denominator? You are. And that might be the worst news for you, or it might be the best news. It's probably both in the same sentence because you're like, wow, I have the power to change my life literally no matter what. Literally no matter what. And this is like deeply annoying because I've got to do a bunch of stuff I've been avoiding. Welcome to the game of a life fully lived. So we all have free will. We all have free will, and every single day we're being tested. And it's not like a high pressure, like, here's the thing, life is a game. Life is a game. And when you think about it as a game, you can make it fun. You can make it like, wow, I have another chance to live. And I have free will. I can always choose the light. Always. I had a moment this morning. And by the way, no matter where you are in your spiritual journey, you will get tested. It's not like the tests stop. It's not like the tests stop. And we're in a major portal of tests right now, specifically because so many planets are in retrograde and there are so many entities existing on Earth right now that are here as catalysts. And most people, the mediocre masses, as I like to say, which by the way, mediocrity is not normal, it's normalized. You are designed for greatness. Your soul is destined for greatness. It's have you revealed your greatness? Have you chosen, are you choosing greatness every single day in a world that celebrates mediocrity? In a world that tells you to tone it down, in a world that tells you, oh, just be happy with what you have. If you keep going for more, that means you're not grateful. It's all bullshit. You came here to literally have everything you want. Your dreams, the blessings. You're here to reveal light. You're here to reveal the light of creator, of source, of spirit in your unique way. And all day, every day, you have choice points again and again and again and again and again. Is this bringing me closer to the light or closer to darkness? Okay. In this moment right now, there are so many planets retrograde that it's a time specifically of tests. Retrogrades are times of reflect. You reflect all the RE words, reflect, refine, review, redo. Things come back from the past. I ran into 3 exes in the same day during a Mercury retrograde, and it was right after I had committed to a new partner in divine union. It was textbook test. I remember. So I'll share a little bit of the story. I wasn't planning on sharing this, but I think it is really, really telling. So it actually ties into Sedona, which is really funny. By the way, the Sedona retreat, I shifted the dates. Why? Because all of these things started happening when the eclipse portal was approaching, and I started getting this intuitive hit like, we're not doing Sedona in March. People need the in-person breath work where you are in March. You're being called to stay. You're being called to change the dates. And my ego died about 50 times because I was like, oh my goodness gracious. Like, I'm always someone that like, I always do what I say I'm going to do, you know? And I'm like, ooh, I don't want to change the dates. But I did, and it wasn't a big deal, right? That was a test in itself because it's like, if you have an inner knowing in your intuition and you don't obey that, so many people in their life, things happen that are challenging and they knew way long time ago. They knew in their intuition and they ignored it. Why? Because they were scared. Why? Because we live in a world that tells you, that has programmed you to ignore your inner voice and override it for the comfort of others, for the comfort of yourself. You know what it actually is, though? It's not comfort at all. It's instant gratification and choosing lasting, lifelong discomfort because you're not becoming the person you came here to be. You're choosing long-term soul sadness when you override your intuition. So that was a test for me. I'm like, wow, I have this inner knowing, and once I know, I can't unknow. Once I know, I can't pretend I don't know. I mean, I could, but that's literally fracturing your soul, and it feels horrible. And then I don't trust myself. Why? Because I'm not trustworthy. If I break my own intuition, I'm not being trustworthy. I'm not trustworthy. Why would spirit trust me with something when I don't honor my inner voice? So that was a test in itself. This story, I literally got back from my first time ever to Sedona. I had just become White Star. I had my shaman initiation. I fell madly in love with, I don't know if I want to share who exactly it was. I'm not going to share. I fell in love with someone I was deeply, deeply connected to spiritually that I met on this trip. Like, like head over heels, like this is my king energy. And we didn't kiss. No, we didn't do anything. It was just so, it was like spiritual soul love. And I hadn't even talked to him about how I felt, but it was like I could feel myself like commit to him. It was very intense. And it also showed me what was possible because I was like, wow, this exists. This is out there. Okay, all this bullshit going on in Chicago is like so like not the vibe. And so I get home to Chicago, and it's like one of those moments where you go on a trip that changes your life, which by the way, if you come to the Sedona retreat, this is exactly what's going to happen for you. I can't guarantee you're going to fall head over heels in love. What I can guarantee is that you will go to Sedona one person and you will come home somewhere else. I guarantee it. The land will do that, and then we are literally going to be doing shamanic healing all day, every day. It's going to be so amazing. I got home, I walked through the door of my brand new condo. I had just got a three-bed condo by myself in my favorite neighborhood. I was so proud of it. I had just moved in literally 1 month before Sedona. And it was such a big moment for me to be able to do that on my own and do it through my company and just I got home from Sedona, I walked in the door and I just looked around and everything just looked different. And I was just like, oh yeah, I'm different. This apartment's different. Everything's different. And of course, like a week after that, I realized, oh, I think I'm going to move to Maui. I just moved into my dream condo, but I guess I'm moving to Maui. Um, but I fell head over heels in love with this person. And then literally the next day, I'm walking down the street. I'm leaving one of my clients' homes and I bump into my one of my exes on the street and I'm like, "Oh, hey, blah blah blah." And it was not a big deal. It was very neutral. Like I had seen him a few months before that and like it actually really bothered me. And then this time I was like, "Oh, whatever. Like I'm in love with this person and like, haha, universe, like funny test." Okay, literally 10 minutes later, I run into the guy I almost married for the first time in 2 years. You can't make this shit up. And I remember feeling his energy and just feeling the darkness that it was like, once you get to a certain point on your path and your like energetic hygiene and what becomes your new normal, if you go to something that used to be fine, it will feel like repulsive, like viscerally, like you can't be there. And I remember just being like, wow, I can't be around this. I can't be around this. And I like cut off our conversation early. And, meanwhile, his dog, which was my childhood dog, incarnated into his dog, which made our breakup a lot harder, to be honest. So I just wanted to like be with the dog. Um, and it was just like these tests, these tests, these tests. It was like, okay, you up leveled. Now I'm going to test you. It always happens right after the up level and right before the up level and throughout. And as you're ascending to the next one. So it's like, here's what I want to say about the tests. I mean, every day we're always being tested. And like, especially during a retrograde, things are going to be coming back from the past and they're coming back to cleanse past negativity. So like me running into those exes, it was like if I would have reacted and gone back into all that old stuff, I would have allowed that negativity to hijack me and I would have gone back down a few different timelines, right? But I said no, and I didn't react. I was just very neutral. I'm like, yep, I'm in my power. Like, and there was absolutely no part of me that was like wanting to like flirt with these people or get back with them. I was just so in this new frequency. And so I passed the test and then I didn't need to go back there. And so during retrogrades, this stuff happens more. It happens with relationships, it happens with frequencies, um, it happens with all kinds of things. It's happening with all of the fascism right now. It's like, okay, am I gonna react and start drinking the poison and start circulating darkness? Or am I going to be like, wow, I'm going to use my free will choice to take command of my mind, to stay in my center, to choose certainty beyond logic, to choose unconditional love, unconditional power? So, how to pass a test is to know that literally all day you are being tested. And if things keep boomeranging back to you, this means you're not passing your test. If you have a chronic pattern that you don't like in your life, that means you're not learning the lesson, you're not passing the test. And it always is. You can boil it down, anything in your life, whether it's choosing between two different foods. One food is literally bringing you to darkness, and one food is bringing you to the light of the Creator. Which one do you think? Oh, the healthy one, the one that's going to fill your wellness. The other one is literally going to make you feel foggy, bloated, lethargic. It affects your brain chemistry. Oh, then you start having negative thoughts and thinking you're not worthy or you don't deserve things or you stop believing in the magic of the world. Like it's all so deeply connected and it's all a test. And so your one job is just to choose the light and be the light again and again and again and again and again. It's not that, it's not about never falling off track or never having tests or never like faltering in the test. I literally, so one of my recent tests, actually today, okay, I'm going to tell you two stories. I'm going to tell you one story about a test I did not pass. And I'm going to tell you about another story that I did pass that I'm very proud of. I did it today. I was like very, very proud. So the first one, honestly, for me, a lot of the time, making maximum effort for something is me doing less and me letting go. Like sometimes I can very easily, I've come such a long way in this, but like I can very easily overstep into creator's job and try to um micromanage God source, right? Because I'm overdoing it. I'm overstepping, right? So I was like launching this programmer's course. So this was a few months ago. And I remember getting in my meditations like, oh, do nothing. You've already done everything. And I was like, what does that even mean, do nothing? Because I was looking at my list. I was like, oh, I'm going to do this and this and this and this, and here's my content plan, and I'm going to like create this thing. I'm going to do that. And I was like, do nothing, do nothing. And I was like, what does that even mean, do nothing? And I did okay with it for one day. And then the next day I totally did I did not do nothing. I was like, and I'm deeply uncomfortable. I'm going to do 50 things on my to-do list because I, am being reactive right now. And then I did not pass the test. I did not get my desired result. Okay. And I was like, all right, bring it on, creator. I'm going to do this again. And I've been receiving that test more and more and more. I've been passing it more and more and more. And really just refining my manifestation process with spirit and my own personal like growth spiritually through these choices and through these tests. And I've been passing them more and more and more and creating more blessings and creating more opportunities and working less, working smarter, not harder, which I've I love working hard. I love burying my head in something I'm obsessed with. I really think the key to happiness is working really hard on shit you care about. And, sometimes for me, I think this is more a rarity, or at least the clients I work with, it's like I'm more getting people like, "Hey, let's fucking go," you know? Let's do more. We got to have a system. We got to have habits. We got to have this. For me in my personal journey, it's been the softening and like, okay, Adrian, you did everything you need to do. Truly surrender and let the rest go for creator. And when I do that, creator never, ever, ever, ever fails. Ever, ever, ever. And it really is. Are you going to choose instant gratification? Or are you going to choose long-term sustained success? And you're being tested, right? Are you being reactive or proactive? Are you circulating chaos and darkness? Or are you choosing light and certainty no matter what the circumstances? So I just had a test today with the IRS. You know them, our friendly friends at the IRS. If you are not American, that's the International Revenue Service, I think. I don't even know if I know that acronym by heart. Basically, taxes. They want your money as part of the system that we all pay into currently. I had on my list. It was risky business. It was risky business. I called them on a Monday morning, first thing on a Monday morning, and I was like, wow, there's probably going to be a wait because it's like me and everybody else calling on a Monday morning. And I called and they said, okay, you have a 30-minute wait. And they're like playing the same recorded song over and over and over while I'm on hold. And I was like, I can have the most fun possible during this because I was holding a vision for a very specific outcome, setting up a payment plan for a very intense tax investment, I would say. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to go on a walk. I'm going to go on a walk in the sunshine and I'm just going to text and message my high touch clients. I'm just going to enjoy and be the joy. I'm just going to be the light. I'm going to be the light. I'm not going to react. Literally, my one job is to be the light right now and take responsibility and do the things, everything I know how to do. And then after that, give it to creator, right? Okay, so first I was on hold for a half an hour. I talked to someone, figured I was in the wrong department. I'm like, okay, who else do I need to call? So then I got on hold for another half hour with the correct department. And I ended up talking to this most amazing person. And my, first of all, I owed less than I thought, and they approved my request. And I asked them if I could change my payment amount with the same interest, and they said yes. And so it was just win, 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 win. And I was like laughing with the person, and I was just thinking, like, wow, they probably have a lot of unhappy people they talk to all day. Like, what if I could just be this bright, shiny beacon of light in their life? And I was. And guess what? That was me being the light. That was me passing the test. Like, am I going to react? Am I going to go into scarcity? Am I going to go into like being stressed? You know what one of my mentors said? It's so powerful. She said, worry is atheism practiced. And I never heard it specifically that way until she said it. And I was like, wow, that's extremely powerful. What I have said for years is just worry doesn't work. I'm less interested in what I'm really interested in is what works and what doesn't work. Like, does avoidance work? No, don't do it. Does worry work? No, don't do it. Like, and obviously, like, we're human. And when you realize things don't work, you just stop participating in it. And so when you realize you have all these tests all day, every day, and especially right now, there are going to be things coming back for the test, back to be cleansed and to be healed, because it's like, oh, if Adrian reacts about this thing on if about this phone call with taxes, how am I going to know she's ready for the next stage of revenue? How am I going to know she's ready for the next stage of navigating the matrix? How am I going to know? How can I trust her with responsibility? Is she going to hold the light, or is she going to just be reactive and choose darkness and choose a short circuit of chaos when it's easy, right? So here's what I want to say. How to pass your spiritual test. Like, there's so many golden nuggets in this. This is what I want to say. You cannot ask for more and then shrink for less. If you're asking for more in your life, which I really, really hope you are, the premise of this podcast is called A Better World. Baked into the fabric of this podcast is that we can do better, that there's more. And literally, our job and our destiny is to have everything we desire. We are not here to settle for less. We are not here to settle. I don't care what anybody says. You are not here to settle. You are not here to be mediocre. You are not here for the status quo. You are not here to fall in line. You are not here to be quiet. Literally, when I was facilitating breath work yesterday, I was like, when they tell you to shut up, I want you to turn it up. And then we all just screamed, and I was like, let's fucking go, man. Because who profits off you not being the biggest, brightest version of you? Oh, darkness. The whole point of life is for you to achieve everything you desire and make a positive ripple in the world and achieve your soul's potential. Literally. That is the point of life. That's why you're here. You cannot ask for more and shrink for less. If you're asking for more in your life and you are accepting less than that, you are not passing the test. Spirit's like, oh, you want that? Okay, great. I'm going to make sure you want it, because to create that, you're going to need some grit. You're going to need some patience. You're going to need some perseverance. It's not going to happen overnight. And so it's like, okay, if you want this level of relationship, but then you're just allowing this like surfacey meh energy to access you, to be in your life. You are asking for more and shrinking for less. And then guess what? Spirit doesn't trust you because you say one thing, do another. And this is all happening internally, right? This is why the work with my clients is so deep and powerful, and why my client, literally every single one of my clients says, I wish I had found you sooner. I wish I had found this work sooner. It's like I'm going deeper with you in 2 weeks than I did in a 6 month mastermind that was double the price because I'm not interested in looping on the surface. I want you to win. I want you to get what you want. I want you to be happy. I want you to be living your potential. And what happens when you do all that? You automatically make your dream, and your dream is part of a world we're proud of. If everyone was creating their desires and passing their spiritual tests, if you're passing your spiritual tests, spirit would trust you for the next level. But right now, you haven't mastered the skill set, or you've just not been passing your tests to achieve the next level. You cannot ask for more and shrink for less. It's one or the other. If you're asking for greatness and then you're accepting mediocrity from yourself and others, you won't achieve greatness. You can say the affirmations all day long. The test is not in your journal. The test is in real life. The test is, I'm here for greatness, and then something mediocre comes your way, and you're like, wow, this is my chance to choose greatness. I'm going to choose greatness. And it's not like it happens like, oh, I do this once and then I automatically have greatness. It's like, no, you do it again and again and again and again. And it might feel like things are getting worse. It might feel like things are getting harder. It might feel like things are going backwards. And you still must relentlessly choose the new path. And then things open up. If it was easy, everybody would do it. Thank God you're not everybody, right? So when you take care of what you're given, you're trusted to receive more. It's just like, I remember, I don't know if I actually had this. I remember with chores though on the farm growing up. Honestly, I was just thrown into it. I'm like, yeah, they're my parents, and it was very common just being in a farm family. Like my mom grew up on a 3,000-acre farm. So all my cousins it was just a way of life. Like, yeah, you take care of the animals and you have responsibilities, and like, yeah, you're 6 years old, but the sheep need water and they need food. And I was trusted with that responsibility, and I really love that. And I wasn't trusted with the big tasks right away, but when I was doing things correctly over time, like, oh, okay, like Adrienne knows how to fill up the water and she does it correctly over time. Amazing. Now she can level up. Now we're going to trust her with doing the grain. Now we're going to trust her with doing this. We're going to trust her with doing that, right? When you take care of what you're given, you are then entrusted to receive more. That's a huge part of the test. So, yeah, are you going to choose the long game, or are you going to choose the instant gratification, which always ends up you feeling bad, you feeling worse, you being separated from creator? That's what it is every single time. Every single time. It just comes down to that. And it's so, so, so simple. It's not easy, it's simple, right? Accessing this level of life and passing your spiritual tests, I really don't think is possible if you're not doing the deep nervous system reset work. Because if you're not resetting your nervous system, you are in chronic fight or flight, which is inherently reactive. You don't allow yourself to pause and contemplate and make a new choice. You're constantly in the knee jerk, like, huh, 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 huh. Oh my God, I need energy. I need this. I need to feel good. I'm going to avoid. I'm going to be in my addiction, right? It's like, oh wow, I'm waiting in line at the grocery store and I'm like so deeply uncomfortable with like being alone with me and my thoughts that I need to scroll, that I need to swipe. You cannot access the full wattage of your free will choice to pass your spiritual tests if you are not regularly resetting your nervous system from the root. Not regulating. Remember, regulating is a fool's errand. It keeps you looping on the surface, never touching the real things that are going to change your life. It's impossible because you're operating with 5% of your potential versus the 95 that you open up when you do the nervous system work. So if you want to pass your spiritual tests, you've got to create space to open up the full wattage of your free will, which comes down to the nervous system, which of course, that's what I do in breath work. If you want to do breathwork with me, link in the show notes to all the ways we're doing breathwork in Starstruck in March 2025. If you want to become my one-on-one client, I have one space available for that. I am doing one-on-one breathwork packages right now just because it's really important for people. So the link to that will be in the show notes. And of course, we're going to be doing breath work in Sedona, in the vortexes, in person on sacred land for 4 full days. It's going to be so amazing. This is how to pass your spiritual tests. So you will be tested every single phase of the spiritual journey. That's why it's called the hero's journey. It's not called the coward's journey. It's not called the easy journey. It's not called the road everybody walks. It's the road less traveled, right? Why? Because it requires more of you. You will be tested. And I'm curious, are you passing your tests? Do the same things keep coming back again and again and again and again and again in ways you don't like? Okay, that's a sign you're not passing your tests. That's a sign you're not choosing well. That's a sign you're not using your free will choice. That's a sign you're asking for more and shrinking for less. Okay, you say you want the business. Do you ghost yourself and never make your website even though you've had it on your to-do list for 6 months? That's a problem. That's not integrity. Things like that are the same kind of relationships coming back in your life. That's a test. Are you being triggered as fuck by Donald Trump? It's a test. Donald Trump is a big, fancy, volatile test. Are you going to be distracted by him? Or are you going to double down on your dreams? Are you going to participate in evil speech? Or are you going to take responsibility for your throat chakra and the power that it wields and not use it to spread evil speech? Are you going to choose this as a catalyst for your potential, or are you going to allow and choose and make it an excuse, like most people will, to never do what they're meant to do? It's a test. It's a spiritual test for humanity. And the powerful people I know have never felt more on fire for their vision because they're like, wow, it's go time. This is a catalyst. New Earth is now. Like people need this energy. We gotta double down on love, on power, but it's all a test. It's all a test. And you have the power to pass your tests. And guess what? The tests never ever go away. And that's what makes the game, right? It's just like a video game. Okay, I leveled up. It's like in Mario Kart, okay? Did you ever play Mario Kart? Bowser's Castle is a lot easier than Rainbow Road. You know what I'm saying? By the way, I have a whole podcast called Rainbow Road, and it's so amazing and fun. If you want to feel inspired and joyful and like excited about life every single day, listen to that Rainbow Road episode. Bowser's Castle is easier, okay? There's walls. The tests aren't as hard. Rainbow Road, it's like, wow, I got to keep my eye on the ball. I could fall off at any time. I got to test over here. I got to test over there. Oh my gosh, I'm going to slip. Oh my gosh. Oh wow, I have the bullet. When you have this gamified energy for life, it really takes the pressure off. And I want you to know that pressure is a portal. Pressure is a portal for you to become the person you came here to be. If you feel like you're under a spiritual test and you feel the pressure, congratulations. A diamond is a rock that did well under pressure. So we're in a time of a lot of spiritual tests. And these ideas are how you're going to pass them. And passing them is you choosing the light and the certainty of the light beyond logic and the certainty of I'm holding this boundary. Like, this is who I am, and this is who I'm following through to be. I'm not going to shrink for less. I'm not going to go back. I'm not going to choose mediocrity. I'm not going to choose the short term circuit of darkness. And I'm going to consistently reset my nervous system on my terms to create the space for me to even access this level of free will. A lot of people won't even ever have this conversation, let alone access it, let alone consistently live in alignment from that place because they don't have their nervous system open to this wattage. So that is this episode. I would love to hear from you. How are you being tested? What are your tests? Tell me the tests that you've passed. Tell me the tests that you failed. And it's like, we're all going to be failing tests. Like the ones that are actually hard, it's okay to fail. The ones that like that ex that came back into your life that isn't good for you, a retrograde, people blame bad behavior on astrology all the time. I just went off on this in Starstruck the other day because I was like, a retrograde is not an excuse for you to behave poorly and do shit is bad for you. That's not okay. Tell me about your tests. What are you learning when you fail a test? How can you use that to pass it the next time? As long as you're in the game, like spirit will send you more tests, okay? As long as you stay committed to, I'm committed to becoming the person I came here to be. If you quit and you make it clear to spirit that you are just not, which I don't know if anybody in this community is, um, then spirit will have mercy and stop sending you tests, but then you'll just, start the process of exiting this plane because you gave up on life. So, yeah, I would love to know about your tests. What are you experiencing right now? Tell me the tests that you just like, yeah, tell me about the tests. Email me. Let me know if this podcast landed for you. You can message me on Instagram, social media. If you want to work with me, here's the ways that you can go deep into this work with me. First, join Starstruck, literally $11 a day for all of March 2025. You would be crazy to not join this container. I'm teaching daily on the astrology. I'm doing high performance coaching. You are plugging in daily to a space of high performance and positive power in a very intense time. Plus, we're doing breath work. Come to the Sedona New Earth Immersion Retreat. It is now May 15th through the 18th. You are going to ground with Mother Earth. You are going to be there with an intimate group of amazing powerhouse souls being activated with the land, breathwork in the vortexes, astrology, healing. My shaman Bethany's going to be there, energy activations, like the whole thing. And if you're like, wow, I want all of it, but I really want one-on-one high-touch support, I have one space available for one-on-one mentorship. This is where you and I fly deep daily. And by the way, you can combine it with the Sedona retreat. So I have a luxury package available right now that I actually haven't launched publicly. Obviously in like invite only and application only, but if you want to combine the Sedona retreat and one-on-one mentorship, apply through the link in the show notes. Like this is the most insane luxury package. This is for like a true queen or king that just wants to ascend in like every single way possible and show up to the fall equinox, literally living your destiny timeline. So that is this episode. Those are the ways you can work with me. I love you. Thank you for being here. Go out there and pass your spiritual tests, man, and let it be a game. And hold yourself to a higher standard of excellence because you're amazing and you can do a lot of things. And this is the way you will live your dreams, be happy, and make a positive impact in the world. I love you so much. Go out there, be the change, be the light, make a stranger smile. And I will see you next time on A Better World with Adrienne.